Breaking this morning, Prime Minister Keir Starmer made the most dangerous political move in 300 years. He just declared war on King Charles III, and what happens next could destroy the monarchy forever. If you want the real story behind Britain's biggest political crisis, hit that subscribe button now, because this is about to get explosive. Here's what really happened. 3 days ago, King Charles did something no modern monarch has ever done. He secretly met with Nigel Farage and Reform UK leaders at Windsor Castle for 2 hours. Not a handshake, not a photo op. A private strategy session that has now blown up British politics. Sources inside Buckingham Palace confirmed Charles personally arranged this meeting after reading Reform UK's constitutional reform proposal. The document, titled Restoring Britain's Democratic Foundation, apparently caught the King's attention because it addressed concerns about parliamentary overreach and the erosion of traditional British institutions. But here's where it gets really interesting. During that closed-door meeting in the King's private study, Charles made one comment that changed everything. Perhaps it's time for fresh thinking in Westminster. The current path seems unsustainable. Those 12 words have now triggered the biggest constitutional crisis Britain has seen since the abdication of Edward VII in 1936. The meeting was supposed to stay secret. Palace protocol demands absolute discretion for any political discussions, even informal ones. But within 48 hours, details started leaking to the press. The Times broke the story first, followed by explosive coverage across every major news outlet. The leak didn't come from Reform UK. They had every reason to keep quiet. Sources suggest it came from within Downing Street itself, possibly from Labour MPs who wanted to embarrass Starr by showing the King was meeting with his political rivals. If that's true, it backfired spectacularly. When Starmer found out about the meeting, he completely lost control. Multiple witnesses from yesterday's emergency cabinet meeting describe a prime minister in absolute rage. According to Deputy PM Angela Rayner, Starmer was pacing the room like a man possessed. Then came the moment that will probably end his career. Starmer slammed his fist on the cabinet table and screamed, "If Charles wants to play politics, I'll show him how the game is really played." The monarchy serves Parliament, not the other way around. He's forgotten his place. But it didn't stop there. Education Secretary Bridget Phillipson later revealed that Starmer continued his rant. 300 years of constitutional tradition. That's just old men in fancy clothes playing dress-up. This is 2025, not 1725. If he wants a fight, he's got one. That single outburst just crossed the ultimate red line in British politics. No prime minister has ever spoken about the monarch this way, not even during the most heated political battles of the past century. Within hours, the story leaked from the cabinet room. By evening, every major news outlet had sources confirming Starmer's explosive comments. The headlines were devastating. The Times, PM's royal rage, Starmer declares war on Crown. Daily Mail, Starmer's Republican Revolution. The Guardian, constitutional crisis as PM attacks monarchy. The Sun off with his head. Starmer goes nuclear on King. But the real damage wasn't in the newspapers. It was happening on social media where British voters were expressing their shock and outrage in real time. Within 6 hours of the story breaking, Daroudi Defend the Crown was trending #1 worldwide. Pro-monarchy social media accounts exploded with angry posts defending King Charles and attacking Starmer's treasonous comments. Video clips of Starr's past speeches were being shared with captions like, "This is what happens when Republicans get power." Memes showing Starmer with a guillotine or dressed, as Oliver Cromwell flooded Twitter, and TikTok. But it wasn't just right-wing accounts driving the backlash. Traditional Labour voters, especially older ones in working-class constituencies, were publicly distancing themselves from Starr's comments. Margaret Thompson, a 68-year-old retired teacher from Liverpool who's voted Labour her entire life, posted a viral TikTok saying, "I supported Labour through Thatcher, through Blair, through everything. But attacking our king, that's not the Labour Party I know. That's not Britain." Her video got 2.3 million views in 24 hours. The numbers are catastrophic for Labour. YouGoob's emergency poll conducted just 18 hours after the story broke shows 73% of Brits believe Starmer went too far in attacking the monarchy. Labour's approval rating crashed from 42% to 28% overnight. In traditional Labour strongholds, support has fallen even further. 68% say they've lost confidence in Starmer's judgment, Most damaging of all, 45% of previous Labour voters say they're reconsidering their support. These aren't normal political poll shifts. This is the kind of catastrophic collapse that ends careers and reshapes parties. But here's the most chilling part of this entire crisis. King Charles hasn't said a word. No statement from Buckingham Palace. No royal response, no public comment whatsoever. And that silence is more powerful than any royal proclamation could ever be. Constitutional experts are calling this strategic silence the ultimate political chess move. Professor Sarah Matthews from Oxford University explains, "The king knows that any direct response would politicize the crown and give Starr ammunition to claim royal interference. His silence is the most politically smart move possible. But there's something else happening in that silence. Palace insiders suggest Charles is genuinely hurt by Starmer's personal attacks. One source close to the king described him as deeply saddened that the office he serves has been dragged into such ugly political theater. The silence also allows public outrage to build without royal interference. Every hour that passes without a royal response makes Starmer's comments look more outrageous and unprovoked. Inside Labour headquarters, panic has completely taken over. Senior MPs who've supported Starr MA for years are now privately questioning his judgment and political survival instincts. Chief of Staff Sue Gray, once considered one of Starr's most trusted allies, reportedly had a screaming match with the PM about damage control. Sources say Gray threatened to resign before being talked down by other senior advisors. But the real crisis is happening in Labour's parliamentary party. A WhatsApp group called Damage Control was set up within hours of the scandal breaking. The group now includes over 40 Labour MPs discussing everything from public statements to leadership challenges. Veteran MP Diane Abbott was reportedly heard telling colleagues, "In 40 years in this party, I've never seen a leader self-destruct like this. He's not just damaged himself, he's damaged all office." The conversations in that WhatsApp group have turned to succession planning. Names being mentioned include Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner, Shadow Foreign Secretary David Lammy, and even former Labour leader Ed Miliband as a safe pair of hands interim option. Even more damaging than backbench grumbling is the growing revolt within Starr's own cabinet. Multiple government sources confirm that at least 3 cabinet ministers have privately expressed serious concerns about the PM's handling of the crisis. Transport Secretary Louise Hay was reportedly seen leaving Downing Street in tears after a heated meeting with Starr. Sources suggest she's considering her position over what she called this madness. Chancellor Rachel Reeves, long considered Starmer's closest political ally, has been noticeably absent from public defenses of the PM. Her silence is being interpreted as distancing herself from the crisis. Most telling of all, Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner has been conducting her own damage limitation exercise, meeting privately with Labour MPs and assuring them that cooler heads will prevail. That's political code for preparing to step in if Starmer falls. While Labour implodes, Nigel Farage and Reform UK are capitalising on the chaos with surgical precision. Instead of gloating over Starr's downfall, Farage has positioned himself as the dignified defender of British institutions. Reform UK's membership has exploded by 400% in just 3 days. Their fundraising has gone through the roof with small donations flooding in from voters who see them as the only party defending traditional British values. Farage's response has been politically masterful. Standing outside Reform UK headquarters, flanked by Union Jack flags, he delivered what many are calling the speech of his career. While others attack our king, Reform UK stands with the crown. While others tear down our institutions, we defend them. While others forget what it means to be British, we remember. The symbolism is perfect. Labour wages war en tradition, while Reform UK wraps itself in the flag and defends the monarchy. The Conservative Party, despite their own internal struggles, suddenly find themselves in an unexpected position of strength. Opposition leader Kem Badenoch has been careful not to appear opportunistic, but her response has been devastating. The Prime Minister has shown complete disrespect for our constitutional monarchy and the millions of Britain who hold it dear. This isn't political disagreement. This is an attack on the very foundations of our democracy. Conservative strategists are already gaming out how this crisis could reshape the political landscape. One senior Tory source told me, "We couldn't have written a better script." Labour's just reminded everyone why they can't be trusted with British institutions. The crisis isn't just domestic political theatre. It's becoming an international embarrassment. Foreign governments and royal families across the Commonwealth are watching in shock as Britain's Prime Minister publicly attacks the head of state. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was asked about the crisis and diplomatically said he respects the important role constitutional monarchy plays in parliamentary democracy. That's diplomatic language for your PM has lost his mind. Australian politicians have been less diplomatic. Opposition leader Peter Dutton called Starmer's comments disgraceful and said they damage the respect Australia has for British political leadership. Political insiders are saying the next 48 hours will determine whether Starmer survives this crisis or becomes the shortest-serving prime minister in modern British history. 3 scenarios are now being actively discussed in Westminster. Starmer issues a full public apology and somehow survives. Starmer doubles down and faces a confidence vote. Starmer resigns for the good of the party. Palace sources suggest King Charles is prepared for any outcome, but his patience isn't unlimited. One insider warned, "There's a limit to what any monarch can tolerate. If this continues, there could be consequences nobody expects." We're not just watching a political crisis unfold. We're witnessing a potential turning point in British history. The relationship between the monarchy and elected government, carefully balanced for centuries, is being tested like never before. If Starmer survives, he'll be permanently weakened, and the monarchy will have shown it can weather direct political attacks. If he falls, it sends a clear message that attacking the crown is still political suicide in modern Britain. Either way, British politics will never be quite the same again. What do you think will happen next? Has Starmer just ended his career by declaring war on King Charles? Can Labour recover from this constitutional crisis? And what does this mean for the future of the monarchy itself? Drop your predictions in the comments below. I'm reading every single one. And if you want to stay updated on this developing story, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. This crisis is far from over, and the next chapter could be even more explosive than what we've seen so far. The battle for Britain's future is happening right now, and you won't want to miss a single moment of what happens.